Hi, this is Lana, Shea, and Iowa Mom. And Iowa is famous for their breaded pork tenderloin sandwiches. But you don't have to come to Iowa or spend a lot of money at a restaurant. We can do it right here at home. You can buy half tenderloins and cut them from that. But I found even easier is the boneless pork loin ribeye chops. They're a little more expensive, but they're already cut and ready to go. I do 2 at a time, cover them with a plastic bag, which is heavier than the plastic wrap. The plastic helps keep the meat from tearing when I'm pounding them, and it also protects that I don't have a bunch of meat juice flying everywhere. We definitely will need a meat tenderizer hammer, and they're not that expensive. And you can see how quickly that flattens that pork out. To make it nice and crispy, we want those edges nice and thin. Any of the chops I'm not going to use this time. I just flatten them, put them in a bag, freeze them, and they're ready to go for another time. I'm using canola oil so that it doesn't smoke because we're going to be using high heat. I let the oil heat up while I'm breading the tenderloins, but I always set a timer to make sure I check on the oil so it doesn't get too hot. For 2 tenderloins, I use an egg. I sprinkle about a ½ cup of flour on one plate and about a ½ cup of crumbs on another plate. Flip in a tenderloin in the egg, then in the flour. Just kind of drag it through the flour. Now we're going to throw it back in the egg. Next, it goes in the crumbs. Same thing for our other guy. If you're making more than 2, you'll need to increase your egg, flour, and crumbs. Then cook in batches so they're not overcrowding the pan. Let's coat these with the breadcrumbs. This is where you get fingers full of goop. And yes, I know you're supposed to take one hand for gooping and one hand for dry, but I never remember which one. More crumbs. Good coating on the plate. Then I sprinkle them generously with a little salt and pepper before putting them into the pan. Once they're in the pan, I do set the timer for a minute so I can check on them about every minute. These can burn so quickly, I always set a timer, but then I cook them as long as it takes to get them golden brown. While my tenderloins are cooking, I'm going to get my buns ready. You don't have to eat them in a bun. You can just eat them as a patty, and they're delicious that way. But if you want the traditional Iowa pork tenderloin, you need the buns. And to make them really good, I butter them and toast them. Okay, let's check. It's been about 30 seconds. Yep, looking delicious. Now with butter, these cook really fast. Remove those from the pan. And those are now nice and hot. Now we're going to serve these up, and I let that grease stay on there. Put our tenderloin right in the middle. There we go. And you can see how it hangs outside the bun, whether you serve with the bun or without. They are delicious. This is Lana, Shea, and Iowa Mom. Thanks for watching. On YouTube.com and Iowa Mom videos, select the video tab to find a whole list of helpful videos.